Und ich tue nur so, als hätte ich einen Plan, wo es lang geht. Oder auch nicht. Die Tür ist ja offen, oder? Ja. Jetzt bin ich gespannt, was meine Mutter dazu sagt. Ob sie vielleicht bei der Hälfte der Geschichte vielleicht mal sagt, was hier Sache ist.
Louis! At last, there you are.
Mother, wait,
Come, we have to be quick.
No, wait, Mother,
Time is running out, Louis. First, we must...
No! That's enough. I won't go a step further unless you explain to me what is going on here. I'm begging you. Talk to me.
You must trust me, my son. You are not ready yet.
You are the one who should trust me. Tell me what's happening.
You would never believe me.
I came all the way here for you. Now I've found you. I'm ready, Mother.
If only... Louis, I have always taught you to keep your mind open and rational. I know you are going to find this hard to believe, but what I am going to reveal to you is entirely true. Many years ago, I found out that demons really do live among us.
I beg your pardon?
And that they can influence our thoughts.
Mother, listen to yourself. I know you're exhausted, but for crying out loud, listen to what you're saying. Demons? What next? An ancient monster with a head like an octopus? What do your demons look like? Have they got horns and a pointed tail?
No, these are not creatures with billy goat's legs. Forget your Christian folklore. Imagine them more as parasitic spirits. They possess their hosts and direct them from inside.
Parasitic spirits?
Yes, they are capable of going from one body to another as they see fit, and 2 of them are present on this island.
Right, so let me guess.
Mortimer und Horn, Washington und Bonaparte, Warner und Godoy, der Butzemann und der Weihnachtsmann.
Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory, right?
You felt it too?
No, even if Home does look the part. But I don't know who else could do it, given that we're on their territory.
Many years ago, well before you were born, I crossed paths with one of them. Since then, I've spent my life trying to find it again. When we recovered the Alizif, I was persuaded that von Burchard was working for this demon in one way or another. But I thought he would hand the book to a middleman during this conference. That's where I made an error that could well turn out to be fatal. The one who Burchard was meant to give the book to was none other than the demon in person, Mortimer. Not to mention that Home had sent Volner to get it for him.
Home and Mortimer are demons?
They both seem to disagree about many things, but I'll admit I never knew exactly why. There are many of them, Louis, not just those 2.
Mother, have you any proof to support any of this?
Of course, but you do too. You had everything laid out in front of you. Didn't you notice anything?
Tatsache, dass ich niemand kennt, die Konferenz ist Stammbaum.
I came across his family tree in his study.
An only son.
Since the Third Crusade.
The fall of St. John of Acre, Louis. The fall of St. John of Acre.
I went beyond the nightmare, Mother.
You understood the Masonic date.
1191.
Of course! It was during that siege that the demon took possession of Sir Mortimer. They spent a whole night in conversation until the early hours of the morning. Mortimer had passed the test. He had charmed the demon, and so it chose him to be its host for centuries to come. But tell me, did you find his secret study?
I did indeed.
Did you see his maps of the world?
He has contacts the world over.
Yes, I've been developing the Golden Order across the world for many years, and I've never seen anyone with such influence. It's simply inhuman.
Okay.
Well, those property deeds across the world, all signed by the same hand and over several centuries.
I am proud of you, Louis.
I found your notes written in lemon juice.
Where all eyes size you up. At one stage, I was so afraid of losing my mind that I noted everything down. Congratulations, Louis. Wait, please tell me you didn't open Pandora's box.
The urn? Yes, I did. Why?
Too bad. We'll deal with it later.
Okay,
I must admit, I found it difficult to understand how and why Mortimer didn't have a place in history.
On the continent, Mortimer and Home are mere dandies who organize society balls. History forgets them with a disconcerting facility. No one speaks about them, and yet they whisper in the ears of kings and presidents.
die Konferenz.
You mean the conference?
How can you explain that someone manages to bring together so many important figures without anyone knowing?
And without any security or personnel.
Louis, I am proud of you. You came all this way. You found me. You have surpassed me.
You taught me everything I know. Right. How did it all begin?
I saw him.
What do you mean you saw him?
I was 20 years old. I was young and carefree. I traveled the world in search of adventure. In the Persian Gulf, we came across an ancient grimoire that became unlocked. Composed of 7 parts, each one was a book in itself, set in a sort of metal armor that structured the whole thing. When all the volumes were brought together, they formed a single book. On my return to Paris, I set to studying these pages. I spent all my days and nights studying them.
Oh, I can imagine you doing that.
But the writing was in a language I had never seen before, developed well before Sumerian, in my opinion. So I got the idea to form a small occult circle composed of all the major names in the occult world to see if anyone else could crack it.
And you found no one.
And I found someone, Louis. I found him, or rather he found me. He was young, charismatic, he was flamboyant.
You mean Mortimer?
He was a veritable mine of knowledge. I showed him the book, and he was able to decipher a few passages. We spent several months together studying the pages. He helped me understand certain passages until I realized that he only translated a few parts for me. But I had aroused his interest. It was too late.
How so?
I mean to say he manipulated me. He used me, and in the end, he stole the book with all its secrets.
Did he ever go to your place?
Not once. At least I don't think so. But before disappearing, he proposed a pact between us. He proposed that I follow him and let him teach me, allow him to bring me up.
Und
you accepted?
Please don't be stupid. You don't make deals with the devil. After that, I spent my whole life looking for him. 3 years later, in Berlin, I just missed him. In London, I lost 6 members of the order in a chase. In 1741, in Tunisia, I found a sect of fanatics who had crossed paths with him once. 1741, in Poland. 1749, in India.
8 years ago in Venice.
We agreed never to speak about what happened in Venice, Louis.
Mutter? Die ist ja eh schon tot. Unbekannt, okay. Ich versuch's einfach mal, weil es kostet mir nichts.
You agreed, and that was before you spoke to me about demons. Wait, the baby we delivered, you and me, that night in Venice, did he have anything to do with Lord Mortimer?
The child was his son.
We stole his son? Are you insane? I always thought we took him to save him.
That was the case. It was precisely to save him from his father.
Need I remind you the mother died during childbirth? What became of the child?
Later. For the moment, that is not the key issue here. Once we found the Alle in Paris, I followed von Borchart's trail here. I didn't think it would lead me straight to the demon. It was careless of me. He toyed with me for a few days, until I caught on, until I saw him as he was. But he had no intention of letting me leave. We are all his pawns, Louis, and if we don't want to spend the rest of our lives turning round in circles here, we must absolutely get off this island. All right, can we move on?
Wait a minute, one last thing.
Die Rolle hat Elizabeth gespielt. Was ist mit Emma passiert? Hat sie mit von Wollner über das Alle verhandelt? Warum die Kanonen für Bonaparte?
What was going on with the cannons in Tuscany?
It was nothing.
Was ist mit Emma passiert?
I want to know what happened between you and Emily's sister.
Great responsibility often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
Okay,
All right, but you're not getting away with it so lightly. Once we get back to Paris, be sure I won't be letting it go.
We'll see in Paris then.
Was hat
I
Elizabeth
want to know
gespielt?
what happened with Elizabeth Adams.
Louis, we haven't time for those details.
I'm sorry, Mother, but I want to know.
She was one of the receptacles for these monsters. I met her parents when she was born. One of the demons got inside her. The demon used her to spy on her father, John Adams. He is one of the founding fathers and vice president of the United States, you know.
Mortimer possessed her?
No, I don't think it was Mortimer. Her father, John Adams, hired me to tend to her, but the evil in her was too deep. In spite of the various treatments I tried on her, I never succeeded in getting it out of her. It's not something I'm proud of, Louis, but I had to try everything.
Okay. Hat sie umgebracht? Wer hat sie umgebracht?
Do you know who killed her?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
What did you negotiate about the Alazif with Volner?
Absolutely nothing. I managed to pull the wool over his eyes until I found a way to flee.
Okay,
I want to know what happened between you and Emily's sister.
Great responsibility often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
erzähl mir alles.
Mother, I won't take a step further if you don't answer me.
You dare blackmail me?
I'm listening.
All right, I used her. So there you are. Happy now? We had the Al-Azif, and I didn't think we would be able to escape with it. In order to ensure that the book did not fall into their hands, or that one of them couldn't read in us where we had hidden it, I asked Emily to...
It's Emma.
Yes, or rather for me, it was Emily. So I asked Emma to hide it without anyone seeing. And then I disposed of her. I am sorry for her, but she was part of the Golden Order, Louis. She knew the rules when she joined.
Okay,
What was going on with the cannons in Tuscany?
It was nothing.
Since when does the Order finance wars?
The cannons for that Bonaparte fellow? Listen. Once in the lion's den, I did whatever I could to appear legitimate. So yes, I pretended to be interested in Mortimer's project about a young military man who was seeking funding for a foundry in Tuscany. Between you and me, if buying China would have enabled me to escape, I would have signed without hesitation.
okay. Haben wir noch was anderes?
Samuel Ritter du Choix. You wanted to send me a letter about Godoy.
I wanted you to run a check on Duke Manuel. But frankly, it doesn't really matter anymore now. Godoy is just a pawn like the others. He
Okay.
is not the one I was looking for.
Und
You know, I found your package under a wharf plank.
Thanks for not touching it.
ja, Piagis Brief.
On the evening of my arrival, Cardinal Piaggi came looking for you. He was determined to give you a letter.
More of his lists. Louis, I think I know what's in that letter, and I beseech you to believe that it is the least of our worries. We can sort that out later.
Und was mit deiner Hand passiert?
Are you going to tell me what happened to your hand?
Better than that, I shall show you.
Okay, da bin ich gespannt. Jawohl.
Good. I think that's about right. We shall speak about it once we get back to France.
Great actions for humanity have been decided by demons for centuries, Louis. They are playing with our destiny. We are their slaves. And it's time for it to stop. By the way, what was Mortimer's project at this conference?
He wants the United States to occupy all the North American territory. France should recover Louisiana and give it to the United States. In that case, the Americans would just have to push west to chase the Spanish from the continent once and for all.
And as Mortimer controls Washington, you may just as well say that it will put him at the head of a world superpower. We should do our utmost to put a stop to Mortimer's plans. But for the time being, there are more pressing matters.
Okay, also geht's gleich noch weiter. Ja.
Are you going to tell me why we're here?
Nein, die wird's dir zeigen. Und ich bin gespannt, was noch auf mich zukommt. Langsam wird's...
There. That's why we are here.
Ja. Bethlehem, Bethesda und Nazareth. Jerusalem, Jordan und Werbung. Okay, ich habe herausgefunden, dass Kardinal Piaggi von den Ereignissen nicht beunruhigt ist. Ich habe mich zu den Gästen von Lady Hillsborys Zimmer gestellt. Ich habe eine der Hillsborough-Schwestern geschützt. Ich habe versucht zu verstehen, was Jacques Perrault widerfahren war, als ich in seinem Zimmer sah. Ich hätte Zeuge von Napoleon Bonapartes Entschlossenheit werden können. Ich hätte etwas über das Al-Azif erfahren können. Hier geht viel zu viel ab. Ich habe Stufe 10 erreicht. Ich habe wieder 4 Punkte verfügbar und weiß nicht, wo ich die einsetzen soll. Ich könnte mich belesener machen. Ich könnte die Befragung vollkriegen. Ich habe Bock auf Wissenschaft und Logik. Oder Manipulation. Ja.
Reassure me, we aren't going to have to force that one, are we?
I don't think we're even capable of doing it. You're going to have to find a way to open it.
Why, of course. And what's inside?
Something to vanquish them with?
Perfect. So, how does it open?
We'll need several keys. I found a note from the architect who conceived the mechanism in Mortimer's secret study. We have to first gather 5 objects before we try anything.
Are the 5 objects the keys?
Exactly. We have the Clement III cross, the nails, the Gutenberg Bible, the exegesis of Judas, an armillary sphere, and all we need to match up the dates between the different calendars.
Ein Kreuz.
Why a cross?
Well, I haven't the foggiest idea, but it just so happens that's what you are going to use to activate the mechanism. I found the one Mortimer kept. It belonged to Cardinal Guibert, better known by the name of Pope Clement III.
Perfect. Where is it?
Unfortunately, I've lost it. When I lost my hand, I went dashing out, and it must have fallen from my pocket.
Okay, sie sollte versuchen, sich zu erinnern.
Well, otherwise I can always go and see Piaggi. He's a cardinal after all.
Nägel?
Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
In a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rollers. 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course.
Zettelstift, danke. 1911 und 646. Merke ich mir. Die Exegese des Judas.
Exegesis. Anything else?
Did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
To open the chimney? Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is, and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking. It's the study of a text with a summary, not an actual Bible. Anyway, well done for the Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice, Louis. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
Was noch? Gutenberg-Bibel?
This is the book in which you left your correspondence with Duchess Hillsborough, isn't it?
That's right.
You still believe it's in the tower room, don't you?
I don't know. There is only one way to find out, though.
Right. I shall go and see.
Das wird noch was.
There's one in the portrait gallery.
Yes, but it's enormous. If you don't want to have to go back and forth several times, then I suggest you get a smaller one.
What did you do then?
I didn't think I'd need one. I started without one, and I lost my hand before I did need one. And you can see the result.
Ja, Daten?
What do you mean by the concordance of dates exactly?
Don't worry about that. We already have them. They are written on the back of the message I just gave you.
Okay, danke.
One last thing before you go. Be very careful. If you come across anyone, they can all potentially be spies of Mortimer or Holm. Don't ever confide in anyone because a demon can slip inside them at any moment.
Wait, not all of them though. Take Washington.
Especially Washington. He's been conditioned by Mortimer for years. Look at them, for crying out loud. How do you explain their behavior otherwise? The most influential politicians in the Western world gather together without the least protection, without a single aid to assist them, to participate in a conference during which the guests start dropping like flies. Me, Adams, Peru, Hillsborough. Look at the number of calamities that have happened over the past few days. And not one of them has asked to leave the island? Do you find that normal? You'll see. Go up to the manor to look for the keys, and I wager not one of them will speak to you about my being in Emily's room.
Do you think so?
Go on, you'll see. And come back with all the objects in one go. Time is against us. And remember, the code to get out of the secret office is 6466.
Ja, weil ich das vorhin verkackt habe, ich weiß. Gewandtheit, Logik und Ablenkung. Dann habe ich nur noch ein Buch leider. Und los geht's mit dem Wir finden die Sachen. Danke, dass du mir das so ausdrücklich sagst. Okay, das dürfte jetzt ein ganz schöner Akt werden. Okay, Goldelixier habe ich gerade nicht eingesammelt. Sammlermünze.
Famous cross of Clement III. Perfect. And one key found.
Das ging jetzt schnell. Da hat doch irgendwas geblinkt.
A ruble.
Ein Rubel. Und er rollt. Sammlermünze und noch eine Sammlermünze. Jetzt ist nur eine Frage, wie komme ich hier eigentlich raus? Achso. Ja, ich schaue mich nochmal um. Was ist das eigentlich? So, hier geht's raus. Da hat was geblinkt. Hat's nicht. Na dann. Dann lass mal sehen. Ich hoffe, ich finde noch die Hälfte der Räume wieder. Und ich hoffe, ich finde hier raus. Gut, erstmal in diesen komischen Nebenraum, weil der hier vorne ist. Und hoffen, dass ich nicht so vielen Gegnern, nicht so vielen Leuten hier begegne. Moment. Was haben wir hier? Ich kann mir das Ding angucken, ja, danke. Naja, wenigstens bin ich so schnell über den Tisch gekommen und
Right. It's definitely an armillary sphere, but I have to find one that I can take with me. Otherwise, I risk drawing too much attention to my comings and goings.
okay,
Where can I find a small... Right. Let's see if the statues are in place yet.
der Leuchter zeigt auf den da, der die Medusa blendet.
That statue is not positioned correctly.
Drehen. In Richtung des Schildes. Dankeschön.
Open Sesame.
Und ich muss hier ran oder so.
So that's Pandora's box? An urn? Mother seemed worried that I was able to open it. I wonder why. Never mind.
Egal.
Now it's too late.
Ich wollte was mit Gutenberg haben da.
So that's the exegesis of Judas. I
Also,
hope Mortimer doesn't read it very often. Otherwise, he's going to notice that someone's stolen it. But that's just too bad. I need it.
ja. Exegese habe ich gemobst. Ja. Dann das Gutenberg-Ding? Nee.
Caesar's laurel wreath. If Mortimer really is what my mother says he is, it could mean... No, that's impossible. No, not Caesar.
Okay.
Now, given all the relics preserved here, it wouldn't surprise me if Mortimer claimed it was Excalibur.
Excalibur hatten wir auch schon mal. Hier war nichts weiter, aber das ist
A ring of the Nibelungs. Even if Mortimer is several centuries old, I don't see what part he has in this legend.
ich auch nicht. So, wieder zurück.
Right. I've got what I need. Now let's not waste any more time.
Schön, dass das Rausgehen mit Knopf drin ist und nicht mit irgendwas anderem. Oh, habe ich hier noch? Wieder Schloss nicht knacken. Okay, Karte. Ich durch die Bibliothek und hier, roter Saal. Nach oben. Weil ich muss ja irgendwie hier oben wieder in Mortimers Büro. Achso, gelb zeigt mir an, wo ich bin und verschoben ist das, was ich sehe. Okay. Ja. Da kann ich mich wieder hinsetzen. Das war jetzt neu. Ah, eine Münze. Eine ohne Namen. Okay, ich gehe einfach mal hier durch. Muss ja wahrscheinlich durch jeden Raum hier durchrennen, um nach oben zu kommen. Das Buch, was meine Mutter mir verboten hat zu lesen, das klicke ich nochmal an. Auch nicht da.
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
Okay, ich dachte gerade, die Lampe könnte ich irgendwas machen.